Hello everybody, my name is Amit Peled. I'm a cellist. I'm originally from Israel, which is in the Middle East, far, far from here in America. But I moved here about 18 years ago to teach at the Peabody Institute of the Johns Hopkins University in Baltimore, where I live, and to travel the world with my best friend and play music. My best friend is right here with me. It's a cello. This is an instrument that was made many years ago, in 1733. It has a very special voice. In fact, some people call this instrument, which is a cello, they call it the closest to the human voice. I think it's the closest to the human voice because it includes in it low voice, middle voice, high voice, and really high voice. Listen to this. Here is Grandpa talking. Very low, very low. But we also have Grandma. Here is Grandma. And we also have Mom and Dad, which are a little bit higher. But we also have kids, which have very high voice, even babies. Listen to this. Very high. Now, this instrument is actually very special. As I told you, it was made in 1733 in Italy, in Europe. It is so special that a very famous cellist in the 20th century bought it in 1913 and played on it all through his life. His name was Pablo Casals from Spain, from Europe. And about 6 years ago, I got the opportunity to play on this cello. Now, it's so close to me, and it really is my best friend, that I decided to nickname it Pablo. And it's Pablo because the name of the previous owner was Pablo Casals. Pablo and I have traveled the world and played in many places, but as I was playing Pablo, I felt that Pablo has something else to tell me, some story about its life, about his history. And we're going to share that story with you. In fact, not we, Pablo is going to share it with you. But before Pablo shares his story with you, I asked Pablo to play with me a different story, a musical story about a swan. And this is a story that is told with a cello and with a cellist. And it's about a swan, and wrote it a composer by the name of Saint-Saëns. So listen to the sound of Pablo now, playing a piece called The Swan. That was a swan. Doesn't he have beautiful voice, Pablo? As we were playing around the world and taking airplanes and boats and trains, I've been sitting next to Pablo and I asked him, Pablo, can you tell me your story? Maybe not the story of a swan that somebody else wrote, but your story. Where were you made? Who played on you until I got to play you? And Pablo was kind enough to tell me the story, which we both wrote down into a book. And the book is called A Cello Named Pablo. And Pablo and I would like to share with you the story now. So sit tight, sit back, and enjoy the story of the cello Pablo.
A Cello Named Pablo. Hello there! No, down here. It's me talking to you, my young friend, not the gentleman behind me. Haven't you ever seen a talking cello before? No? Well, perhaps not, but I'm not just any old cello. I even have a name. Pablo. I'm actually very old, 300 years. I was carefully crafted by the master instrument maker Matteo Goffriller in a studio in Venice with a beautiful view of the canal. As soon as I got a glimpse of the world, I knew I wanted to explore it. Quite a few talented musicians have played me throughout my life. One was named Pablo, like me. Pablo Casals is now known as one of the greatest cello players in history, a maestro, or master of music. But once he was just a boy in Spain, learning to play an instrument. Many instruments, in fact. His first cello was not me. It was not even a cello. Pablo learned to play the cello by using a gourd. Later, when Pablo finally met me, we became very close. He had other cellos, but I was his favorite. For more than 50 years, we traveled the world together, playing for royalty, presidents, and music lovers. Pablo called me his oldest and dearest friend. We made such beautiful music together. I was very sad when Pablo died as an old man. I can still feel the way his fingers flew like birds over me. I can still smell the pipe he used to smoke during his many hours of practicing. Pablo's wife, Marta, is a musician too, and she took very good care of me. From time to time, she would let other cellists play me. When they made music with me, I was so happy. Their hands weren't Pablo's hands, but I loved that I was useful again. Sometimes I forgot what my own voice sounded like, but they quickly helped me remember. But mostly, I rested and slept. Dreaming of when I would be played again. During those many years when I was quiet, a boy named Amit was growing up in Israel. He was more interested in playing basketball than playing an instrument, but he liked a girl who was learning to play the cello. He was too shy to talk to her, so he began taking cello lessons too.
Hey, where are you going?
Hey, come back here.
Instead of falling in love with a girl, he fell in love with music. He listened to recordings that Pablo and I had made together over and over. I guess you could even say Amit fell in love with me. Just like Pablo had a century before, Amit studied, worked, and practiced hard. He moved to the United States and became a teacher and a maestro himself. After some time, Marta heard about Amit and invited him to play me. In the beginning, we were both a little nervous, but we soon realized that we made a good match. Another day, Amit came back and played me again. And again and again. Finally, Marta told Amit that he could borrow me. Amit and I were both very excited to play together on stages all around the world. Since it had been a few hundred years since my last tune-up, I needed a little makeover. Expert cello doctors called luthiers opened me up, pulled me apart, and then put me back together again. Soon my voice was as good as new, better and stronger than ever. Now I know Amit's hands well, just as I once knew Pablo's. When we play the old songs I used to share with Pablo, and the audience listens and cheers, I feel as if I might burst with joy. Music is not only about playing notes or chords, symphonies or sonatas. Music tells a feeling, a story, a life. I may look like humble wood and strings, but I get to share my life and the lives of everyone who has ever touched me each time I make a sound. One day, another boy or girl will fall in love with music and take me around the world. Maybe that boy or girl could be you. Who knows what you will find if you only pick me up and play. The end.
Thank you for listening to our story, A Cello Named Pablo. Now, Pablo and I would like to finish this presentation by playing to you another piece, a piece by Bach. A little faster, a little more joyful than The Swan. This is a piece that was written in Germany. And we are really thankful and excited that you sat all through this presentation and listened to us. And we hope to see you and play for you again soon. Here is a prelude from the first suite by Bach. Thank you so much, Pablo, and I thank you for listening to this presentation. Bye bye.